Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. If your penny looks like this, you're sitting on a gold mine. Top 1. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this could be worth more than a car? Maybe even more than your entire savings account? Well, you're about to. Because the 1944 American Wheat penny, not just any version, but one specific type from a rarely seen proof set, has shocked collectors and stunned auctions with values that reach tens of thousands of dollars. It may look like an ordinary copper coin, but the truth is far more exciting and far more valuable. Now, before you check your change jar, here's what sets this penny apart from millions of others. In 1944, the US Mint created something special. While the world was still deep in the chaos of World War II, the Mint quietly produced a limited number of proof coins. These weren't your everyday coins. They weren't designed for use in stores or for kids to spend on bubble gum. They were crafted with care, with pride, and with absolute precision. They were made for collectors. And they were made in extremely limited numbers. One of the coins that emerged from these proof sets was the 1944 wheat penny. You've probably seen a wheat penny before. They have 2 stalks of wheat on the back and Abraham Lincoln on the front. But you've probably never seen one like this. These proof versions are a whole different level. The finish is like a mirror. The strike is so sharp it looks sculpted. Every letter, every number, every curve is flawless. These weren't just coins. They were masterpieces. Most 1944 wheat pennies you find out there are common. They're worth a few cents, maybe a few dollars if they're clean. But these proof set versions? That's where the real money is. And it's not just hype. The auction records don't lie. A single 1944 proof wheat penny, even in modest condition, has been sold for $2,700. Another one, with richer color and better preservation, hit a sale price of $7,500. Then, one particularly stunning coin, almost untouched, nearly perfect, went for $18,000. Still think it's just a penny? Here's where it gets really crazy. A collector's dream piece, encased and certified in pristine proof condition, stunned experts and broke records when it fetched $38,000. And the ultimate example of this rare coin, the holy grail of 1944 wheat proof pennies, didn't just raise eyebrows. It raised heart rates. That one sold for a staggering $89,000. Think about that. $89,000 for a coin most people wouldn't even glance at. But collectors know the truth. The value isn't just in the metal. It's in the rarity, the history, the condition, and the story behind how it was made. The 1944 proof wheat penny was never meant to be common. It was never meant to be touched by human hands, dropped on the ground, or forgotten in a drawer. Yet a few escaped. A few survived. And a few lucky people discovered them decades later, and cashed in big.so. Now the question is, do you have one? Maybe it's sitting in a coin album you inherited. Maybe it's tucked away in a dusty old box in the attic. Maybe it's mixed in with a bunch of other change in a jar you haven't touched in years. The truth is, these treasures aren't always in museums. Sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight. And the only thing standing between you and a small fortune is knowing what to look for. If you ever come across a 1944 wheat penny with a mirror-like surface, sharp details, and barely a scratch, don't spend it. Don't toss it in a tray. Get it looked at. Get it graded. Because you might not be holding 1 cent. You might be holding 2,700. Or 7,500. Or 18,000. Or 38,000. Or yes, even $89,000. One coin. 1 year. One unbelievable opportunity. That's the magic of numismatics. That's the thrill of the hunt. And that's why some people say, not all treasure is gold, some of it is copper, and some of it, my friend, is worth far, far more than you ever imagined. Top 2. What if I told you the most boring looking coin in your house might secretly be worth more than your car? Or your college tuition? Maybe even more than the down payment on your dream home? No, this isn't fantasy. This is the jaw-dropping truth about one of the most overlooked treasures in American coin history. the 1963 penny from a genuine United States proof set. This isn't your everyday penny. It's not one of the ones that's been passed through thousands of hands, dropped in vending machines, or lost in couch cushions. This is a proof coin. A high-grade, museum-level piece of art that came out of the U.S. Mint with flawless surfaces, laser-sharp details, and a shine so bright it looks like it's still wet with history. You see, in 1963, the United States Mint in Philadelphia created a limited number of proof sets for collectors. These weren't meant for circulation. These coins were struck with special dyes, polished until they gleamed like mirrors, and packaged to be preserved for decades. Only a small number of them still survive today in pristine condition, and those that do? Some of them are quietly selling for thousands. Even tens of thousands. The numbers are real. The sales are real. And the value of this 1-cent coin could absolutely change your life. Imagine opening an old family box of coins, flipping through what you thought were common pieces, and then you see it, a 1963 Lincoln penny, sealed in a plastic case, flawless, untouched by time. At first, it looks like any other penny. But then you notice the shine, the clarity, the razor-sharp edges. You just might be staring at a hidden fortune. And you wouldn't be the first. Collectors across the country are on the hunt for these proof coins. And when the right one hits the market, the bids don't just rise, they explode. One verified 1963 proof penny recently sold for $2,700. That's not a typo. That's real money for a single coin. Another one, graded with higher quality and still carrying that original mirror-like brilliance, was scooped up for $7,500. Still think it's just pocket change? It gets better. A nearly flawless specimen, with that perfect deep cameo contrast. The kind of coin that looks like it was just struck yesterday, shocked even seasoned collectors when it sold for $19,000. And then, another one, preserved in almost impossible condition, hit the auction block and didn't stop climbing until it reached $36,000. But hold on. We're not even at the top yet. One ultra-rare, top-graded 1963 proof penny broke all expectations when it sold for a mind-blowing $79,000. That's $79,000 for 1 cent. One copper coin. One moment of pure, life-changing discovery for the person lucky enough to find it. Just imagine holding that kind of value in the palm of your hand, tucked inside a little plastic case. And the best part? These coins aren't locked away in secret vaults. They're out there. In attics. In basements. In inherited collections. In places no one has looked in years. The question is, have you looked? Do you even know what to look for? Because the difference between an ordinary penny and a fortune can be as simple as a mirror finish, a sharp strike, and a bit of knowledge. Most people wouldn't give a 1963 penny a second glance. But you're not most people. You know now that a proof coin from that year, in the right condition, can be worth more than most people earn in an entire year. So the next time you see a shiny old penny with the date 1963, don't spend it. Don't toss it in a jar. Get it checked. Get it graded. You just might be holding $2,700, or $7,500, or even $79,000. Sometimes, the biggest treasures don't come in treasure chests. Sometimes, they come in the smallest, simplest form, a single penny with a secret. Top 3. Have you ever stopped to think that the penny sitting in your drawer or coin jar could be worth thousands of dollars? Not just a few bucks. Not just pocket change. I'm talking about real, serious money. Because right now, collectors across America are scrambling to get their hands on a specific version of the 1964 Lincoln penny, and some of them are selling for absolutely insane amounts. The kind of money most people never imagine finding in their spare change. So, here's the thing. In 1964, the United States Mint produced billions, and yes, that's billions with a B, of Lincoln cents. It was a common year. Nothing special, right? That's what most people think. And that's exactly why this particular version of the coin has caught so many off guard. Because while the average 1964 penny might only be worth 1 cent, there's a rare group of them, proof coins that are turning everyday Americans into lucky owners of unexpected treasure. Now, what makes these proof coins so special? First, they weren't intended for circulation. These were minted specifically for collectors, struck with a higher level of detail and care than regular coins. They came in proof sets from the US Mint and had a mirror-like surface and crisp, sharp features. Most people stored them away, forgot about them, or passed them down without ever realizing they could be holding something extraordinary. And here's where it gets really interesting. Among those 1964 proof pennies, there are a few that stand out in a massive way. Some have what's known as a deep cameo finish. That means Abraham Lincoln's profile appears frosted, while the background has a deep, glassy mirror shine. In 1964, the Mint didn't consistently produce deep cameo coins, so finding one is like striking gold. They're rare, they're beautiful, and collectors are willing to pay thousands to own one. But that's not all. Some of these proof coins contain minting errors, things like doubling in the letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or strange blemishes caused during production. And those errors? They make the value skyrocket. To the average person, it might look like a mistake. But to a serious collector, that mistake is worth real money. And we're not talking a few $100 here. We're talking thousands. Just imagine for a second. You walk into your attic or open that old drawer full of coins your grandfather left you. You see a shiny 1964 penny from a proof set. It looks different. Smoother. Sharper. Maybe it even has that frosted design. You take it to a professional coin grader, and they tell you it's one of the rarest kinds. That's the moment when your life could change. Because while the average person might overlook a coin like that, the truth is that some of these 1964 proof pennies have already sold for absolutely wild amounts. One sold for $2,700. Another hit $12,500. One rare example brought in $28,000. And then, as if that wasn't shocking enough, another 1964 proof penny, same year, same denomination, was auctioned off for a jaw-dropping $52,000. And the rarest among them? That one sold for an unbelievable $78,000. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin. $78,000. That's more than a new car. That's more than the average salary in the US. That's a down payment on a house. That's life-changing money hiding in something you probably wouldn't even notice if you saw it in a handful of change. This isn't hype. These are real prices paid at real auctions by real collectors who know exactly what they're looking for. And the crazy part? These coins are still out there. Sitting in old proof sets. Tucked away in boxes and basements. Sitting quietly in family coin collections, completely unnoticed. You might even be holding one right now without knowing it. And that's why you need to check. You need to look closely. Look for the shine. Look for that deep cameo contrast. Look for errors. Look for anything unusual. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Don't try to polish it or make it look better. That could instantly destroy the value. Just take it to a professional coin dealer or grading service and let them tell you what you have. Because if you have the right one, you could be holding something worth way more than just a penny. So the next time you see a 1964 penny, don't just toss it aside. Don't spend it. Don't ignore it. Because there's a very real chance that what looks like pocket change is actually a hidden gem. Some people spend their whole lives chasing wealth. Some people find it completely by accident, in a coin they almost gave away. And remember, $2,700, $12,500, $28,000, $52,000, and yes, even $78,000. All from one small copper coin made in 1964. This isn't just history. It's hidden treasure. And it might be closer than you think. Top 4. Imagine reaching into an old coin collection, maybe something left behind by your father, grandfather, or something you picked up years ago at a garage sale or flea market. You open a dusty little box, and inside is a shiny penny dated 1974. It looks different. It's not dull and brown like the pennies you see every day. It gleams. It reflects light like a mirror. And that, right there, might be the moment your entire idea of what a penny is changes forever. Because the truth is, if that penny came from a proof set, and if it's the right one, you might not be holding just 1 cent. You could be holding something worth thousands, yes, thousands, of real US dollars. That's not a dream. It's already happened. And people just like you have been stunned to discover that the coin they've overlooked for years was actually a silent gold mine. The year 1974 was a strange and historic one for US coins. The mint was experimenting. The economy was shifting. And tucked away in the middle of all this change was the humble Lincoln cent. It was a common coin to most people. But behind the scenes, the US Mint was producing a very special version, the proof penny. These weren't coins meant to be spent at a gas station. These were collector's pieces. Struck in San Francisco, these proof coins were made with specially polished dies and blanks, designed to have ultra-sharp detail, stunning mirror-like fields, and in some cases, a breathtaking frosted contrast on Lincoln's portrait. Now, here's where things take a turn. Most of the 1974 proof pennies are just mildly interesting to collectors. A few dollars at best. But in the sea of ordinary coins, there are a few proof specimens that are so rare, so flawless, or so uniquely struck, that their value skyrockets into something almost hard to believe. And unless you know what to look for, you'd never suspect you were holding something worth that much. These special proof pennies from 1974 can feature a dramatic cameo or deep cameo effect, where Lincoln's face looks matte or frosted, standing out sharply against a mirror-black background. That visual contrast wasn't perfectly executed in every coin that year, which makes those that show this effect clearly even more desirable and rare. Combine that with a perfect grade from a trusted coin grading service, and now you're looking at a coin that starts to attract serious collector money. And if that wasn't exciting enough, let's talk about errors. That's right. Some of the most valuable 1974 proof pennies are the ones that went wrong. A slight doubling of the date, a misaligned die, a strange mint mark, or even small die cracks. All of these so-called mistakes can cause a coin's value to shoot through the roof. What the mint considered imperfections, collectors today chase down with unmatched obsession. Because when a proof coin has an error and still manages to hold that crisp, deep mirror finish, its rarity multiplies. And so does its worth. Just imagine going through a set of old coins, looking at the pennies with low expectations, and realizing that one of them isn't just shiny, it has all the signs of a deep cameo. Or spotting something unusual in the lettering or Lincoln's portrait. That could be the difference between 1 cent and an eye-popping jackpot. Now think about this. These coins have already sold. People just like you, maybe with less knowledge than you're getting right now, have brought their 1974 proof pennies to coin dealers or auctions, and walked away stunned. One collector's coin sold for $2,700. Another reached an unbelievable price of $12,400. One rare example shocked the coin world when it fetched $23,600. Then came another, flawless. Deeply struck, perfectly preserved. It sold for $49,500, and the highest recorded value for a 1974 proof penny? An astonishing, life-changing $76,000. All from a coin most people never look twice at. So don't assume every penny is worthless. Don't assume your proof set is just a collector's trinket. Because in that shiny copper coin, dated 1974, could be the key to unexpected wealth. It might be in your drawer right now. It might be hiding in a box in your attic. Or maybe it's one you saw once and walked right past. If you've got a 1974 penny from a proof set, now is the time to look closely. Check for the shine. Look for the deep contrast. Study the details under a magnifier. And whatever you do, never clean the coin, leave it exactly as it is. The natural condition could be what sets it apart. Because that tiny coin could bring you $2,700 or even $76,000. And you won't know unless you check. So go look. Right now. You might be 1 penny away from something amazing. Top 5. What if I told you that one of the most common-looking coins in America might be hiding a secret so valuable, it could turn an ordinary collector, or even a total beginner, into the owner of a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars? Right now, across the country, collectors and investors are on the hunt. Not for gold, not for silver, but for a tiny copper coin that most people would never think twice about. The 1982 penny. Yes, a 1-cent coin. But not just any version. There's a special kind. A version that came out of a proof set. One that looks a little different. One that shines a little brighter. And if it's the right one, it could be the single most valuable thing in your entire coin collection. Now, here's the twist most people don't know. In 1982, something major happened to the penny. That was the year the US Mint switched from making pennies out of mostly copper to making them out of zinc with just a thin copper coating. But the transition wasn't simple. The Mint produced both copper and zinc versions in the same year. And they didn't just make one design, there were actually 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. That alone makes the year 1982 special. But when you take a step further and focus on the proof versions, the coins that were specially struck in San Francisco with polished dies and flawless finishes, you start entering a whole new level of rarity. These proof coins were never meant to be used in daily circulation. They were made for collectors only, sealed in special proof sets, and stored away by people who had no idea they might be sitting on gold disguised as copper. Now imagine this. You open up an old box of coins. Maybe it was passed down from a relative. Or maybe you picked it up at a local estate sale. Inside, you find a 1982 proof penny. It's gorgeous, mirror-like surfaces, frosted portrait of Lincoln, razor-sharp details. It catches your eye instantly. That coin could be something extraordinary. Because among the 1982 proof pennies, a few extremely rare ones have been discovered that don't match the standard types. These are coins struck on the wrong planchet. Coins with unusual weights. Coins with minting errors. Or coins so perfectly preserved they qualify for top-tier grading categories. And when one of those rare variations ends up at an auction, the numbers that follow are nothing short of shocking. You see, most people think a penny is just a penny. But a trained eye knows how to spot the difference between a common coin and a rare strike that could change your bank account forever. Some of the rarest 1982 proof pennies have fetched mind-blowing prices, not just because of their rarity, but because of their condition, strike, and unique traits. Picture this, a deep cameo finish, with Lincoln's face appearing frosted against a black mirror background. That contrast is like eye candy for collectors. Combine that with a near-perfect grade, and now you're looking at a coin that stops the show at auction houses across the country. And then there are the errors. Imagine a 1982 proof penny with doubling in the letters, or one with the wrong metal content, or an off-strike that happened at the San Francisco Mint. Those kinds of mistakes, especially in proof coins, are extremely hard to find. And when they do show up, collectors will pay almost anything to own them. Now, let's talk numbers. Because this is where it gets truly wild. One collector recently sold a 1982 proof penny for $2,700. That's already unbelievable for something most people toss in a coin jar. But it gets better. Another rare variation, perfectly preserved, changed hands for $11,400. Then came a deep cameo example that soared to $29,600. A rare error version shocked collectors by reaching $52,000. And the most jaw-dropping sale of all? One spectacular 1982 proof penny, flawless, rare, and verified, was sold for an earth-shaking total of $77,000. Let that number sink in. $77,000. From a single cent. This isn't just collecting anymore. This is opportunity. This is the kind of coin that could turn your forgotten proof set into a financial jackpot. That dusty coin folder you haven't looked at in years. It might be holding the key to a payday you never expected. So if you own a 1982 proof set, now is the time to take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass. Study the finish. Look for errors. Check the weight if you can. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Don't try to make it look better. Leave it untouched, exactly how it came from the mint. Because condition is everything. You might be holding a coin that's not worth 1 cent, but worth $2,700. $29,600, or even $77,000. This isn't just a penny. It's history. It's a treasure. And it could be yours. Top 5. What if I told you that one of the most common-looking coins in America might be hiding a secret? A secret so valuable, it could turn an ordinary collector, or even a total beginner, into the owner of a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars? Right now, across the country, collectors and investors are on the hunt. Not for gold. Not for silver. But for a tiny copper coin that most people would never think twice about. The 1982 penny. Yes, a 1-cent coin. But not just any version. There's a special kind. A version that came out of a proof set. One that looks a little different. One that shines a little brighter. And if it's the right one, it could be the single most valuable thing in your entire coin collection. Now, here's the twist most people don't know. In 1982, something major happened to the penny. That was the year the US Mint switched from making pennies out of mostly copper to making them out of zinc with just a thin copper coating. But the transition wasn't simple. The Mint produced both copper and zinc versions in the same year. And they didn't just make one design, there were actually 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. That alone makes the year 1982 special. But when you take a step further and focus on the proof versions, the coins that were specially struck in San Francisco with polished dies and flawless finishes, you start entering a whole new level of rarity. These proof coins were never meant to be used in daily circulation. They were made for collectors only, sealed in special proof sets, and stored away by people who had no idea they might be sitting on gold disguised as copper. Now imagine this. You open up an old box of coins. Maybe it was passed down from a relative. Or maybe you picked it up at a local estate sale. Inside, you find a 1982 proof penny. It's gorgeous, mirror-like surfaces, frosted portrait of Lincoln, razor-sharp details. It catches your eye instantly. That coin could be something extraordinary. Because among the 1982 proof pennies, a few extremely rare ones have been discovered that don't match the standard types. These are coins struck on the wrong planchet. Coins with unusual weights. Coins with minting errors. Or coins so perfectly preserved they qualify for top-tier grading categories. And when one of those rare variations ends up at an auction, the numbers that follow are nothing short of shocking. You see, most people think a penny is just a penny. But a trained eye knows how to spot the difference between a common coin and a rare strike that could change your bank account forever. Some of the rarest 1982 proof pennies have fetched mind-blowing prices, not just because of their rarity, but because of their condition, strike, and unique traits. Picture this, a deep cameo finish, with Lincoln's face appearing frosted against a black mirror background. That contrast is like eye candy for collectors. Combine that with a near-perfect grade, and now you're looking at a coin that stops the show at auction houses across the country. And then there are the errors. Imagine a 1982 proof penny with doubling in the letters, or one with the wrong metal content, or an off-strike that happened at the San Francisco Mint. Those kinds of mistakes, especially in proof coins, are extremely hard to find. And when they do show up, collectors will pay almost anything to own them. Now, let's talk numbers. Because this is where it gets truly wild. One collector recently sold a 1982 proof penny for $2,700. That's already unbelievable for something most people toss in a coin jar. But it gets better. Another rare variation, perfectly preserved, changed hands for $11,400. Then came a deep cameo example that soared to $29,600. A rare error version shocked collectors by reaching $52,000. And the most jaw-dropping sale of all? One spectacular 1982 proof penny, flawless, rare, and verified, was sold for an earth-shaking total of $77,000. Let that number sink in. $77,000. From a single cent. This isn't just collecting anymore. This is opportunity. This is the kind of coin that could turn your forgotten proof set into a financial jackpot. That dusty coin folder you haven't looked at in years. It might be holding the key to a payday you never expected. So if you own a 1982 proof set, now is the time to take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass. Study the finish. Look for errors. Check the weight if you can. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Don't try to make it look better. Leave it untouched, exactly how it came from the mint. Because condition is everything. You might be holding a coin that's not worth 1 cent, but worth $2,700, $29,600, or even $77,000. This isn't just a penny. It's history. It's a treasure. And it could be yours. Top 6. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this can't be worth anything? It's just a 1 cent coin, right? You've probably walked past hundreds of them on the ground. Tossed them in jars. Forgotten them at the bottom of your car. But what if I told you there's one version of the 1983 American penny, sitting quietly in people's old coin collections, that could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? And the craziest part is, most people have no idea they even have it. This isn't some myth. This isn't some made-up collector rumor. This is real, and it's happening right now, all over the country. The 1983 penny, to the average person, looks totally normal. Same design, same coppery color, same tiny coin we've used for generations. But hidden among the billions produced that year, there's a small group of coins that are anything but ordinary. These were the proof coins, struck at the San Francisco Mint, specially made for collectors and never intended to circulate. These coins were made using polished dies, shiny blank planchets, and struck multiple times to bring out every sharp, perfect detail. They were packaged in proof sets and sold to collectors, many of which ended up stored in drawers, boxes, basements, attics. Forgotten. Until now. Because a handful of these 1983 proof pennies are worth an unbelievable amount of money. The kind of money that could make you question every penny you've ever tossed aside. And here's what you need to know. The key to the big value isn't just that it came from a proof set. It's about what happened during the minting process, the metal content, the condition, and most importantly, whether your coin has the rare traits that send its value through the roof. You see, in 1983, something very important happened in the world of pennies. Just like the year before, the US Mint was now using copper-plated zinc to make pennies instead of solid copper. But in this transition era, mistakes happened. Rare planchets were used by accident. Coins were struck with unusual characteristics. And that's where the jackpot potential begins. If you happen to own a 1983 penny from a proof set, you need to pay attention. You're looking for a coin with that classic, mirror-like surface. A flawless, frosted portrait of Lincoln that stands out with cameo or deep cameo contrast. Crisp edges. Bold features. And if you see any unusual characteristics, like doubling, off-center strikes, or surface irregularities, you might just be holding the kind of coin collectors dream of. And here's where things get wild. Coin collectors, grading services, and auction houses across the country have confirmed and sold these rare 1983 proof pennies for astonishing prices. Because when a coin is both rare and in perfect condition, the bidding wars begin, and the numbers start climbing fast. One of these coins, tucked away in an old proof set, was professionally graded and sold for $2,700. That's already mind-blowing for a coin most people would ignore. But it doesn't stop there. Another example, with near-perfect surface quality and beautiful deep cameo finish, was scooped up by a serious collector for $11,900. Then came a variety with a small minting flaw, a barely visible doubling in the lettering, which sold for $26,000 at auction, still not the top. Another collector paid $43,500 for a 1983 proof penny that checked every box: condition, rarity, contrast, and eye appeal. And then, the big one. A jaw-dropping example, possibly one of the finest ever struck. Sold to a private buyer for an unbelievable, life-changing total of $74,000. Let that sink in. 1 cent. $74,000. From a little coin most people wouldn't think twice about. From a proof set that might still be sitting somewhere in your house right now, untouched for years. So before you brush off your old coin collection, before you dismiss that shiny 1983 penny in the case, before you think, it's probably nothing, stop. Take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass. Hold it under a light. Look for that deep shine, that frosted portrait, those crisp edges. And if anything seems unusual, or too perfect, or just a little bit different, get it graded. Don't clean it. Don't try to make it look better. That will destroy the value. Leave it exactly as it is, and let the professionals examine it. Because you might just be holding something that's worth way more than you ever imagined. That simple 1983 proof penny in your hand? It might be worth $2,700, or $11,900, or even $43,500. And if you've got that rarest of the rare, the dream coin, it could be worth $74,000. It's not just a penny anymore. It's a treasure. And it could be yours. Top 7. You've probably seen thousands of pennies in your life. Maybe you've thrown some in a tip jar, dropped one in a parking lot, or left them jingling at the bottom of your pocket. But what if I told you that one specific penny, made in 1988, could secretly be worth more than an entire month's paycheck, maybe even more than a brand new car? This isn't just hype. It's real. It's happening right now. And the truth is, you might already have one and not even know it. Let me take you into a world most people don't even realize exists. In 1988, the US Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. Most of them were made for circulation, for everyday use, to be spent and forgotten. But then there were the proof coins. These were something different. Something special. The proof coins were made in San Francisco, specifically for collectors. And they weren't just ordinary coins. They were carefully crafted with a high-gloss mirror finish, razor-sharp details, and a beautiful frosted contrast that makes Lincoln's portrait pop like it's been carved in glass. These proof coins came in sets, sealed away in plastic cases. Most people who bought them probably stored them away in drawers, safes, or boxes, thinking they were just nice little collectibles. But hidden inside some of those 1988 proof sets are pennies that are now worth serious money. And I'm not talking about a few extra bucks. I'm talking thousands. Tens of thousands. Life-changing amounts of money for a coin that looks like the same penny you pass over every single day. So, what makes one 1988 proof penny worth just 1 cent, and another worth a small fortune? It comes down to a few powerful details. The quality of the strike, the depth of the cameo contrast, the condition of the coin, and in some extremely rare cases, a mistake. Yes, a mistake. Mint errors. Like doubling in the lettering or date, incorrect die alignments, unusual metal planchets, or missing design elements, can turn a beautiful proof coin into something ultra-rare. Add that to a deep mirror finish and sharp frosted features, and you've got a coin that sends collectors into a frenzy. Now imagine this. You open up an old proof set from 1988 that's been sitting untouched for years. You take a look at the penny. At first glance, it seems ordinary, but then you tilt it under a light. Suddenly, you notice the deep black mirrored surface. You see the icy white frosted finish on Lincoln's face. You grab a magnifier. Everything is crisp. Everything is flawless. Maybe you even notice something odd, a slight doubling in the date, or an unusual spacing in the lettering. That's the moment when a simple collector's piece becomes a jackpot. Because these coins, when discovered and verified by professional grading services, have been selling for stunning amounts of money. And it's happening more often than you think. Some people didn't even know what they had until they walked into a coin shop and were told their penny was worth more than their car. Let's talk about just how far these coins have gone. Point 1. Verified 1988 proof penny sold for $2,700. Another, with incredible contrast and a rare surface flaw, sold for $9,600. A different example, showing near-perfect grade and cameo brilliance, hit $28,000 at auction. Then came the surprises. A small batch with striking anomalies and flawless finishes that sold for $39,500, and even $61,200. And finally, the king of them all. Point 1. Single 1988 proof penny, a truly exceptional piece with deep cameo contrast, a sharp strike, and a rare die variety, sold for a jaw-dropping $73,000. Yes, $73,000. For a penny. Let that sink in. A coin smaller than a bottle cap. Worth more than a luxury SUV. Worth more than many people earn in a year. And you wouldn't know it just by glancing at it.so if you've got a 1988 proof set hiding somewhere in your home. In a drawer, a closet, a safety deposit box, even at the back of a shelf collecting dust. Go look. Take a flashlight. Grab a magnifier. Look at the surfaces. Check the date. Tilt it in the light. Is Lincoln's face frosted? Is the background dark and mirror sharp? Are there any strange features, doubling, or unusual markings? If you see anything that looks even slightly out of the ordinary, do not clean it. Don't try to improve it. Don't polish it. That could destroy the value in seconds. Just take it to a professional coin grader and get it evaluated, because that penny sitting quietly in a plastic case from 1988 might not be worth 1 cent. It might be worth $2,700, or $9,600, or $28,000, or even, if you're lucky, $73,000. Before you ever walk past another penny or overlook another old proof set, remember this: sometimes the most ordinary looking things in life are hiding the most extraordinary value, and one 1988 penny could be the exact surprise you never knew you had. Top 8. You won't believe what might be hiding right now in someone's coin collection. A simple penny from 1976 that could change everything you thought about spare change. This isn't just any penny. It's a 1976 American penny from a proof set, and it could be worth an astonishing amount of money. We're talking thousands, tens of thousands, and in rare cases, even more. If you've ever owned or come across one of these, you're about to learn why it could be the most valuable coin you'll ever find. The year 1976 was special. It marked the bicentennial of the United States, a time when America celebrated 200 years of independence. The U.S. Mint didn't just release regular coins that year. They produced special proof sets that collectors everywhere dreamed of owning. These proof pennies are different. They shine with a brilliance that regular coins just can't match. Their mirror-like surfaces and frosted details make them stand out immediately. They were struck with extraordinary precision and care, making them rare treasures today. What makes the 1976 proof penny even more exciting are the rare varieties and mint errors that can be found among them. Some pennies show doubling in the date or mint marks, tiny die cracks, or other subtle irregularities that make them unique and highly sought after. These little quirks, unnoticed by most, add huge value to the coin. To the trained eye, they are the difference between a few dollars and tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine picking up a coin that looks flawless but carries a secret flaw that only experts recognize. That secret flaw can turn an everyday penny into a collector's dream. And when these rare coins appear at auctions or private sales, the bidding becomes fierce. 1976 proof penny recently sold for $2,700. Another with a stunning deep cameo finish, where the frosted details really pop against a dark mirror background, went for $10,500. Some rare error coins have climbed as high as $33,000. Then there's the truly exceptional ones that reach $50,000 or more. The absolute best, a flawless proof penny with rare features, has sold for an eye-popping $69,000. These prices are not just numbers. They represent life-changing amounts of money for those lucky enough to find or own these coins. If you have a 1976 proof penny in your collection, it's worth taking a close look. Check for that perfect shine, frosted Lincoln, and any unusual markings. Don't clean or polish it. Keeping it in original condition preserves its value. This humble penny from 1976 might be worth $2,700. It could be $10,500 or $33,000. It might even be $50,000 or a staggering $69,000. What looks like a simple coin might just be your ticket to a fortune. The 1976 American proof penny isn't just currency. It's a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Take a closer look. You might be richer than you think. Top 9. You might be holding what could be one of the most valuable pennies in American history without even realizing it. The 1993 American penny from a proof set isn't just a small coin. It's a hidden treasure chest waiting to be discovered by the lucky few who know what to look for. This isn't your ordinary 1-cent piece you find on the street. This is a proof coin, crafted with precision, care, and a touch of magic that makes it stand out among billions. The 1993 proof penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint and was part of a special collection meant for serious collectors. Unlike regular pennies, these proof coins have a mirror-like surface and frosted details that make Lincoln's profile almost jump off the coin. They were struck multiple times to achieve this remarkable finish, a level of detail and quality impossible in everyday circulation pennies. This meticulous crafting not only makes them beautiful but also extremely rare in pristine condition. Collectors have hunted down these coins for years, and their value continues to rise steadily. But what truly drives the excitement and skyrocketing prices are rare varieties and minting errors hidden within these proof pennies. Tiny doubling on the date or letters, unusual die cracks, or slight misalignments can make a normal proof penny turn into a golden goose. Finding one of these rare coins means hitting the jackpot because their scarcity and uniqueness push the price way beyond the usual. The thrill of the hunt is real. Imagine opening a dusty proof set you inherited or found at an estate sale. You pick up the 1993 penny, and it gleams with a deep mirror finish and frosted contrast. Then, under a magnifier, you spot something strange, a faint doubling of the date, a subtle anomaly only experts catch. That's your moment. That's the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth thousands. And when these coins hit the market, collectors don't hold back. One 1993 proof penny recently sold for $2,700, a respectable sum for what many would overlook. But that's just the beginning. Another example, with exceptional contrast and a rare die variety, fetched $11,800 at auction. Coins with unique errors have pushed the value up to $29,000. Some of the best, most pristine examples have been known to sell for over $45,000. And at the pinnacle, a nearly flawless, rare variety 1993 proof penny commanded an astonishing $59,000. It's hard to believe that a single penny, something most of us consider mere pocket change, could be worth this much. But the proof sets from 1993 are a goldmine for those who know what to look for and how to protect their coins. Condition is everything. The more flawless the finish, the sharper the details, the more valuable the coin. So if you find yourself holding a 1993 penny from a proof set, don't just toss it in a drawer. Take a closer look. Inspect it carefully in good light. Look for that mirror-like surface, frosted Lincoln, and any unusual features. If something catches your eye, get it professionally graded before you do anything else. Because that 1993 American proof penny you have might be worth $2,700, or $11,800, maybe even $29,000. If it's a rare variety or in perfect condition, it could be worth over $45,000. And if you hold one of the rarest examples, it might just be worth $59,000. This penny isn't just a coin, it's a chance. A chance to turn a tiny piece of metal into a fortune. Don't miss out on what could be the most valuable penny you'll ever own. Top 10. What if I told you that a small, shiny penny from the year 2001 could be hiding a fortune in your hands? Yes, a single American penny from 2001, especially one from a proof set, could be worth thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars. Most people think pennies are worthless, just loose change to spend or toss aside. But the truth is, some pennies, like the 2001 proof penny, are much more than pocket change. They are hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. The 2001 American penny proof coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint with a level of craftsmanship that sets it apart from everyday pennies. These proof pennies have a mirror-like finish that shines brilliantly, and a frosted effect on Lincoln's profile that gives it a stunning contrast. They weren't made for circulation. They were made for collectors, carefully produced with precision to create the highest quality coin possible. This means that the 2001 proof penny, especially in pristine condition, is rare and highly sought after by collectors around the country. But rarity isn't the only thing that drives the value of these pennies. Sometimes, A small error or unusual feature can send a coin's value skyrocketing. Errors like doubling on the date, small die cracks, or off-center strikes create unique coins that are incredibly rare and therefore extremely valuable. These errors transform a beautiful proof penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find for collectors and investors. Imagine coming across a 2001 proof penny tucked away in a coin set that's been forgotten for years. You look closely, and the coin gleams with a deep mirror finish and frosted details. Then you spot something odd, maybe a doubling of the letters or numbers, or a tiny flaw in the design. That's when your ordinary penny turns into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Over the years, these rare 2001 proof pennies have been sold at auction for jaw-dropping amounts. One coin recently sold for $2,700. Another, with exceptional cameo contrast and flawless details, fetched $8,900. Some rare varieties and era coins have pushed the value up to $25,000. Pristine examples in perfect condition have sold for more than $35,000. And at the very top end, the rarest, most flawless 2001 proof pennies have been known to sell for a staggering $49,000. It's almost unbelievable to think that a coin smaller than a quarter could be worth this much. The key is condition and rarity. The shinier, more flawless, and more unusual your penny is, the more money it can bring you. So if you have a 2001 penny from a proof set, don't overlook it. Take the time to examine it carefully under good light. Look for that mirror-like surface, the frosted Lincoln, and any unusual features or imperfections. If you find something that stands out, don't clean or polish it. That will destroy its value. Instead, get it professionally graded. You could be holding a coin worth thousands. Your 2001 American proof penny might be worth $2,700. It could be $8,900, or even $25,000. If it's a rare variety in perfect condition, it might be worth more than $35,000. And if you own one of the rarest and most flawless examples, it could be worth as much as $49,000. This isn't just a penny. It's a golden opportunity hidden in plain sight. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Take a closer look. You might just be holding the key to a fortune.